So we're really going to focus on expanding our being today.
Mommy, let me get. We're texting your friends.
Hello, darling. That lovely, dear little voice you have. That's cute too. Love it. So, okay, so just allow yourself to get aware of your body. Become aware of your body and your being. Yeah. Connecting with every molecule in your body. Just touch base with every part of your body, all through the different organs in your body and up through your neck and shoulders and your head, behind your eyes, and right down to your feet and your arms and your fingers. And then allow yourself to go right down into the earth. Hi, Earth. Gratitude for you, Earth. And gratitude for you for having no judgment of me. And for all your gifting. And the gifting that the earth is for us. And I'm going to do this one, which I really, really love, and it's a very good one. The creation of your life is based on the energy you create. It's not based on the conclusions and decisions you come to. How do you create the energy of possibility? So this is what we're wanting to do. So actually, let's just take our awareness right out to the universe a million miles and start pulling the energies of possibilities into your world. So start pulling those energies of possibilities into your world. And ask for that to multiply like 10 times and multiply that another 100 times and then multiply that. And push down the walls and barriers. This is something that you might be starting to find yourself saying to yourself now. Do you notice that when you wake up, you're going, okay, expand right out to the universe and push down the walls and barriers. It's pretty much something, it's like a muscle. You really want to be doing this. As soon as you wake up, you're like, okay, expand right out. So get the energy of the way it would be to have your life and living be everything you always hoped and knew it could be that you never knew you could ask for. So get that energy and put that in front of you as an energy. And you don't even have to know what it is, but you're asking for the energy of having your life be everything you always hoped and knew it could be. And you never knew you could ask for it. And then imagine the way it would be if no algorithms ran your life. So algorithms are those places that they use on computers so that things repeat themselves or do automatically. So we really do want no algorithms to run our lives because that puts you on automatic and it doesn't allow you to be present. And imagine that you got a letter telling you that your income had just increased by a factor of 10. And notice the way it would be to have that ongoing and then to grow from there. And notice the enthusiasm that you would have if your income had increased by a factor of 10. And allow your face to have the enthusiasm already of what that feels like to have an income that's increased by 10. And get the way it would be to do something you loved, whatever that was, every day when you woke up. And stop trying to define what that is. You don't have to figure it out. You're going to let the universe show you. Let the universe show it to you. Universe, show me what my life can be. Asking for it allows the universe. Just be aware that anything you ask for, you can have. You just have to let go of it. So you can put in there material things. You can also put in things like having more of you, being amazing, being more conscious, knowing who you are, being joyful and happy, and being amazing again, being smart, being sharp, being effective and fast. And for me, being good with technology. Nobody else can have that one. Yes, you can. I'm just joking. But you can ask for all of those things. You don't have to know when they're going to show up. Just put them in there. And get the way it would be to be so happy, and imagine what it was you did, had huge amounts of enthusiasm to it. And everybody calls it work and you call it play. So it's not about passion, it's about enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is an energy. So when you're enthusiastic, like, what is it that you're enthusiastic for, that you have no problems, you just love to do it? And get the way it would be to do something that changed all the time and was so much fun. And you knew it was a contribution to people, something that allowed you to have the financial acumen and wherewithal and the time to be able to travel and enjoy it. And get the way it would be to have people in your life that truly had your back, that truly saw you in a way you didn't know you could be seen, that supported you in a way you didn't even know you could be supported, who didn't require anything from you, and who received the gift that you are as the being that you are, as the contribution that was such a gift to them, and that truly had your back. And they saw you as such a gift, and all they wanted to do was to contribute to you and your forward progress and the gift you are to the world. Forward progress, that's what we're asking for. Get the way it would be to not have that be just you alone, but something that was actually in communion with the earth, in communion with every person that exists, that was willing to have it and didn't have any of the points of view and any need for trying to prove it to the people who aren't willing to have it. Imagine your whole life was like that. Pull energy into it from all over the universe. Now let's pull masses and masses of energy. And it's just an ask, so you're just kind of imagining that you're pulling energy from all over the universe into this bubble that's in front of you. This energy that's in front of you. And you're just kind of like pulling energy into it. And then double that. And pull more. And pull more and pull more and ask for more and ask for that to multiply 100 times and 100 more times and multiply that by 100 times. Now keep pulling energy into it. And pulling. Pull energy into it until your heart opens up and you get a little smile on your face. Well, I haven't got a smile on my face yet, so let's keep pulling. And that made me smile, by the way. Sorry. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive how easy it is to create it, and that you will and can create it. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, short, swing, yawns. Now let little trickles go out to everyone and everything that's going to help make it a reality for you that you don't even know yet. So you can ask for that energy to start letting little trickles go out to everyone who's going to help you make it a reality. And if you would like a relationship, you can put that in there as well. But in that relationship, it's less of a relationship and more of a communion. And you remember, communion is trust, allowance, vulnerability, gratitude, honouring.
Honour.
That's what communion is. With someone who allows you to be more connected to everyone, even though you think that's impossible. Imagine the way it would be to have that. And imagine creating this with the entire universe, and not just one person. But that doesn't exclude the one person. And imagine however many people coming into your life that would actually contribute to the creation with more and more and more and more people, instead of creating an insular universe all alone. And ask for that. So put that energy in there as well. And pull energy into that if you would like it, and more. And pulling more and more and more and more. Pull that energy into it. Pulling energy into this energy that you're creating as your life. And now let little trickles go out to everyone who's going to help make it a reality for you that you don't even know yet. So what you're doing is you're just asking for the little trickles to go out to all the people who are going to help make this a reality for you. And then if you like, sometimes you might like to start pulling connection threads with all these people. You don't have to know who they are. And this is kind of like an ask for something that's greater than what you can imagine, really. It's not your job to figure anything out. I think you need to write that on your forehead. Or do I need to write it on my forehead? Put it on a piece of paper. It's not my job to figure anything out. I just have to ask the universe. Huh? Not my job to figure it out. You just have to ask and be willing to receive. And receiving is something that we're going to be working on next week a lot more. We will be working on receiving. What would it be like for us to receive 1,000,000 times more? And what else is possible now that's never been available before on any planet that we've occupied ever in the last 4 trillion years? Is there anything that can stand in your way again? It's time to create a reality that truly does work. This is our true capacity. This is our true ability. So, you can open up your eyes now. And has anybody got any questions they would like to ask? That you would like to ask me? Is there anything that you would like to address or talk about?
Yes, I'd like to address something, Chrissie. Having a bit of anxiety around this people, you know, how we've gone down to level 3, and I've found it really easy to sort of overstep the mark and slipping into as if we're back to normal. It's just so easy to think, oh, I can just go and see everybody, or I can, you know.
Yeah.
And then also other people not sticking to the rules and just having a lot of fear again. Like in the beginning, I started to feel less fear, but then recently I've started to feel more anxious about it again, about people breaking the rules and the COVID and is there a process we can do to make us feel?
Well, but we do have to choose. This is not something you can process. This is something you need to choose. Because the thing about fear is not true. And this is one of the tools that we learn in the foundation classes. Fear is actually a distractor implant. And fear is not true. And what happens is that when people get fearful and frightened, they actually pull into their reality what they're frightened of.
Right.
And we pick up the energy of fear.
Okay.
Because if you have a look at yourself, I bet you're not really a fearful person. Courageous person, right?
Yeah.
But fear is energy. You know,
Okay.
it's contraction, right? And people
Right.
contract. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for asking this question. So everyone who's feeling the fear of whatever's going on with coronavirus, just go, is this mine or is this somebody else's?
Yeah.
Everyone who's feeling the fear. And now go, return this to sender.
Return to sender.
And you can say it till that fear goes away.
Return to sender. Return to sender. Return to sender.
Yeah. Well, the other thing you can do is we can also destroy and uncreate all the distractor implants of fear.
Yes. Yeah, that would be good.
And all the shaky stuff that's underneath the distractor implants, right, wrong, good, bad, popular, and shorts, millions. And be aware that whatever people are doing with coronavirus is not, honestly, that's not what's spreading coronavirus. It's not people breaking the rules. It's not people going into other people's bubbles. That's not what's creating coronavirus. What's creating coronavirus is fear.
Right.
And how you know, so I'm telling you something, okay, that I know is true for me, right? So I'm saying a piece of information. Now, is that true or am I totally incorrect? How do you know what's true for you?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's lighter.
It's light or heavy. So when I say to you, you know, this fear is creating the virus, is creating the spread of the virus, does that make you feel light or does it make you feel heavy? Now, if you haven't practiced this tool, you may get a bit confused, but it's a really awesome tool. I highly recommend practicing it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So how you practice it, like just practice, you know, when you go to the shop, go, oh, should I buy this book? Does that make me feel light or does it make me feel heavy? And just trust yourself. And this is a very good thing to start trusting you.
Yeah.
Light or heavy. And just go with the first answer that comes into your head. Because you see, you can't think awareness. Thinking destroys awareness. You have to trust your awareness. You have to grow that muscle of trusting yourself.
Right. So just to clarify that, just be aware of what feels light and what feels heavy. So when you feel fearful about something and it feels heavy, what does that mean again?
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
Well, the thing is about when you feel, let me say this again in a different way. When you get fear, when you feel fear, please go, this is not mine, straight away. No, it isn't yours.
No, it isn't mine.
Just know that. Now, what I'm asking you to do is to practice that muscle of light and heavy. So the muscle would be, so how you would practice is, okay, so is what Chrissie telling me, does it make me feel light or does it make me feel heavy?
Light.
There you go. So that's really good. So that's the truth for you. See, if you go to the doctor, and doctors are very good at telling people what's wrong with them or giving them diagnoses.
Yeah.
Now, if you would go to the doctor and when whatever the doctor says to you, you go, is that light or heavy? Is that light or heavy? You'll always know whether it's true or not.
Okay, so if it feels heavy, then it's not true.
It's right. It's a lie. If it's heavy, it's not true. Whatever anybody ever tells you, whatever anyone tells you, even what Gary says, don't ever trust him, don't trust me, trust you.
Okay, and so when it feels heavy, what should you do? Whatever situation you're in, what do you do again? You go,
Well,
so return to sender.
Hot and pot.
Oh no, not necessarily. Return to sender
Oh.
is for energies that you're picking up. But say someone says to you, "Oh, there's a you know, the world is going to have a big global crisis, and they're predicting that's the end of the world," for instance. Then you can go, does that make me feel light or does it make me feel heavy?
Heavy.
Yeah, and that means it's a lie.
Right.
Okay, so everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive this toll, would you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Oh, good, bad, popcorn, and shorts, me ons. Let's just run a process to see if it makes it easier for you guys to get this. This really is a really good tool. This will always take you in the direction that's true for you. So what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of light and heavy and light are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine, short, splitting eons. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of light and heavy and light are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and poc, all nine, short, splitting eons. So what
I'm getting caught up on the dominance of whatever it is, MC squared thing. I'm not sure what that is.
well, that's we're going to be talking about that in the bars class.
Okay. Cool.
And that it really, what I ask you to do is to just receive it, because
It just came up in a movie the other night and I hadn't heard it before, and it was in one of Jack Irish's series in the news.
really,
Yeah, and this guy who was researching stuff, you know,
yes,
like coronavirus, but it was to do with pharmaceuticals too and the corruption, and it was interesting. But he had what is it?
E equals MC squared.
Oh yeah.
It's a process that Gary came up with a couple of years ago. Jail stands for judgments, agendas, inventions, and lies. And then
Oh, okay. So jail actually isn't.
no, it's not jails, but it is jails, really, because it's the jails that lock us up, and it's unlocking all those places where we've put ourselves in jail. So jail stands for those things, and then the E stands for evil, which is not the evil as we know it. It's evil unconsciousness, because anywhere that's unconscious is an evil. If you notice, one of the things that happens when you are doing access, using the access tools, the more aware you become in every area of your life, the more you have ease in your life. And it's unconsciousness that creates the difficulties or even the problems with your body. As you get more conscious, you undo those problems with your body. So that's what it's undoing. So let's go back to heavy and light. So you can use it start practicing it with things you buy. You probably forget to do it, but maybe make a target to use it at least once a day or a couple of times a day. And you could ask, like, let me give you an example of how I used it. When we sold our house in Australia, I sold our house because I knew we had to sell it, because I knew that the value was going to go down and it wasn't going up. So I went, you know, we got to sell this house. I didn't know where we were going to go next because I didn't really make any plans. But after we sold it, I went, okay, so do we stay here on the Sunshine Coast, or do we move to Brisbane, because I liked Brisbane as well, or do we move back to New Zealand? So those were my three things that I was interested in, and I would have had any of them. And when I asked, do we move back to New Zealand, light or heavy, it always made me feel light. And I asked it not just once, I asked it quite a few times over a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. And I would ask, okay, light or heavy in New Zealand? It was always light. So it just gives you a strong trust and confidence in what you're doing, because you just forget about everything else and you go, this is where I'm going.
Were the other two options heavy?
Were they heavy? They must have been, because they certainly weren't light. Yeah.
So coming to New Zealand felt light.
Yes. Yeah. And then I just followed that and trusted that.
Right, yeah, because I've had another thing happen, and it's interesting. I have talked to you a little bit about this, Chrissie, of me wanting to leave, you know.
Yes.
And I don't know if, you know, just like having a bit of an insight or an awareness that, because Mum's had started having the similar feeling, and I wanted to leave her place, and I thought, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Is there something going on here that we're both feeling like we just want to leave? You know, at the moment, when we've been stuck in lockdown for so long, we just want to leave. You know?
So what do you know? Yes.
And then sort of like, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening?
Are you picking up her thoughts?
No, I think my thoughts came first. Maybe she's picking up my thoughts. Because Mum's sitting with me now, and she's been feeling like wanting to leave her place all of a sudden just in the last few days, whereas mine was sort of started about a week ago.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. That's logic. That's trying to figure it out.
I have a friend who is in the same thing. He's thinking about leaving his partner, and then he realises that the lessons that he has to learn are just going to come up again. If he doesn't sort them out in this relationship, then the next relationship will present the same stuff.
Well, in Access, we have a different way of looking at it.
Right.
We don't have the point of view that you have to learn lessons. So Gary teaches us to have the point of view that you're not here to learn lessons, you're here to teach others. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, would you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, shots, beyond. So the thing is, can you hear how you're still figuring it out? You went to, but I got mine first, so it must be mine, which is not really asking. It's not asking you for your awareness. Your awareness is this mine? So let me ask you, is it yours? Are those thoughts yours? And does that make you feel light that they're yours, or does it make you feel heavy? Don't think about it. Everywhere you go to think about it, would you destroy and uncreate that, please?
Yes.
Good, bad, pod, buckle, and shorts with me on. So one more time. Does it make you feel light or heavy? Yours or someone else's? So can you see, if you have to think about it, you're not really going with the awareness?
Right.
Don't think about it. Trust you, because even it's not logic, sweetheart. It ain't logical. Light or heavy? Let me just say.
What is light or heavy again?
Okay, so let's just say they're yours, right?
My
Does that make you feel light or heavy? Light, heavy, light, heavy.
Heavy. Heavy, really, I suppose, yeah.
Okay, darling. So would you be willing to trust that?
Yeah.
Okay, so what does heavy mean?
That are my thoughts.
No.
Oh. Just getting a bit confused.
Yeah, so everywhere you're getting confused, right, wrong, good, bad, popcorn, and shorts, meons. So what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of confusion with the light and heavy are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, popcorn, and shorts, boy, meons. So what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of confusion with light and heavy are you choosing?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, popcorn, and short swim yarns. So you know when something is heavy, what does it mean?
That it's not yours.
It means it's a lie.
Oh, a lie.
If something is heavy, it's a lie. So if I said, you know, Gisborne is a really bad place, it's full of mongrel mob people and it's terrible and it's isolated. That makes you feel like. That doesn't make you feel light at all. It just makes you fucking laugh. Or maybe it does make you feel light. It doesn't make me feel light because I know that's not true, right? Gisborne has.
What about when it is your fears and you know you're doing it?
What if there was no such thing as fear, my darling? What if you consider the possibility that you're picking up the energy of other people's fear? So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive this, would you destroy and uncreate it, please? This is a great question, by the way, Robin. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, buckle, and short, spin, yawns. We have been so indoctrinated to believe that fear is true. Fear is not true. Not for you, not for me. Do you know how I know that?
Yep.
Do you have more courage than most people on the planet?
No.
Yeah.
You don't think you do, Robin? And Barbara knows she does. So you don't have courage, Robin?
Not bundles of it. I have some.
Okay, so if your mum was in trouble, would you do everything you could to help her?
Yes.
And you say that so lightly. Is that true? Would you do everything you could to help her?
Everything that I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you say that with a bit more confidence, please? Do you doubt that? Do you? Do you doubt that you would help her?
I don't doubt that I'd do my best. But sometimes I'd probably have anxiety about some aspects of it, but I'd still definitely do my best to help her.
Yeah, and you see, anxiety is an energy that we're picking up from other people as well, guys. Anxiety is energies that we're picking up from everybody all around the planet. So everywhere you're buying those energies as yours when they're not, will you destroy and uncreate them, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, podpoc, all night, shorts, boys and beyonds. So there's 2 tools in here today which are so awesome if you could practice them and practice them. First one is when you pick up anxiety, you've got to say to yourself, is this my anxiety or is it somebody else's?
Is this my anxiety or is it somebody else's?
Yeah, and every time it will not be yours. Because we are so psychic, we are like radio receivers and we're picking up the energy of everyone all around us. And that's what we talk about. That's what I've been talking about when I say, what are these energies that you're picking up? Just go, oh, this is not mine. Those are energies. We are like big giant radio receivers because we're such huge infinite beings. And we're picking up these energies of anxiety and being frightened. Fearfulness is another one. picking up.
Oh, thank you. I thought that she had dropped it.
So when we're picking up these energies, what we do is we buy them as ours, right? So depression is another one, by the way. Depression, sadness, all of those are energies that we're picking up from people around us, okay?
So what about if you know that, like the other day, you're doing it to yourself. You realize you're generating a whole lot of you realize it's you, say, and then you've got to kind of switch out of it and move or something. So there are times when, well, for me personally, I'm aware that I'm doing it. You know, it's not anyone else's.
Good. So this is what you do. Just go return to sender.
Yeah, but when you're doing it yourself, you know, you're making up your own story in your mind.
Oh, well, you just pock and pod it. That's what the pock and pod is for.
Right.
Pock and pod, point of creation, point of distraction. So when you know you're creating a story, absolutely, pock and pod it, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pod, pock and pod. But when you're picking up other people's thoughts, like for instance, if people get depressed, the best thing they can do is get their bars run, for one thing, to clear those energies, and also to return those thoughts to sender, all those energies. And sometimes you might have to say it for 10 minutes. I know a couple of years ago, I was waking up in the morning feeling all funky and clunky. Now, I knew it wasn't mine, and sometimes I would buy into it for a little bit. Sometimes I would just kind of wallow in those thoughts. How many of us do that? And you would wallow in your thoughts, and then in the end I'd go, all right, enough. I've had enough of this. And I would say, return to sender, 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 return to sender. And you can say return to sender with consciousness attached as well. And when you say return to sender with consciousness attached, it's going back to the very first person who created such a thought. And you don't have to know who it is. And when it goes back to the very first person, it might go back to the person that you picked it up from. Even if it was your mother, for instance, some people have parents or family that they're picking these energies up, and they don't want to send the thoughts back to them. But when they go back to them, they're still going back to the very first person who created that thought. And that's what it means to return something back to sender with consciousness attached. And this is there's some great tools here this morning. This tool of going return to sender, return to sender, return to sender, you have to make that demand of yourself that you're not going to buy these thoughts as yours. And you might have to do it for 10, even 20 minutes to get them to go. But you start to feel more like you. And when you start to feel more like you, that keeps you going. Oh, right, I really do feel much more like me. And then the next day you pick those thoughts up again and you go, this time you don't wallow so long. So you go, all right, not mine, not mine, turn to sender. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be and receive, every thought that you're picking up that doesn't belong to you and returning it to sender with consciousness attached, will you destroy and uncreate that, please?
Yes.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds. So how are we doing with light and heavy? How are you doing, Barb, with light and heavy?
Yes, that made me feel lighter. Returning it to sender, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Return to sender, return to sender, return to sender.
Yes, return to sender, and make a demand of yourself that you're not going to put up by these thoughts. And then the other one is the fear, is just know fear's not yours. And trust you. And like you can go, okay, so is Chrissie, what she's saying, is that true or is that a lie? Say that to yourself. Is that true or is that a lie? So is that making me feel light or does it make me feel heavy? And then you can trust you. It's not about trusting me, it's getting your own awareness about what's true for you. So let me ask you, Does it make you feel light that those are your thoughts about wanting to leave, or does it make you feel heavy? Don't try logic, because that's where you're getting confused.
Yeah.
So everywhere you're trying to use logic to work this out, and everywhere you've confused logic with awareness, and awareness with logic, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, when you sorts me on. So it's your mind that's creating the logic, and the awareness comes from you, the being. Everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, would you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, book, all nine shorts with meons. So how do you get your awareness? It comes from you, the being. Where does logic come from? Logic comes from the mind. And the mind can only create bullshit. And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, and it makes you laugh, would you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Shorts me on. So anytime when you ask yourself a question, if you notice you're taking a length of time to answer it, that's not awareness, darling. That's not awareness, baby. That's the mind trying to take control. And what if we could just give up our minds as the way of creating our lives? And everything that is times a gazillion would destroy and create it, please. Does that make you feel light, or does it make you feel heavy to give up your mind?
Lighter.
Good. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive your awareness, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, book, all nine shorts, and yawns. So this is something that you might like to play with today. You've got two really amazing tools you might want to practice. Do you remember what they are? Can you tell me clearly what they are?
If something feels heavy, then it's a lie.
Yes.
So pocket pot it. No,
Well, no, you just don't believe it.
just don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
so we
have to
don't
pocket
believe
pot
we
it.
don't believe the coronavirus is going to be a threat to us. So let's just not believe that, because that's a lie.
Yes. And does that make you feel light?
Yes.
Yes. So that's because it's true for you. And
Yeah.
who are you going to trust? You or me?
Me. Trust me.
No, you should trust me, Barb.
Oh.
No, no, I'm joking.
Well, actually, I do trust you, but
Don't
I had
trust
the
me. I'll
awareness
leave
that
you
you
straight.
wanted me to say that I didn't.
Well, I know what you mean. And also, I do want you to get to the place where you trust you before anybody. So would you start to choose that?
Yes.
Yeah. And because no one can tell you how to create your life except you. No one. And this tool of light, it's called light and heavy, the light and heavy tool.
Right.
And this is one you want to really get good at, so that you can ask it all the time. Anytime you're coming up, even like, shall I phone this person now? I sometimes use it. Or I might use it, should I create this class at this date? Or shall I go somewhere else? Or shall I do those? I'm using light and heavy, light and heavy. Does it light? Is it heavy? So what's the other tool you're going to practice now? Who does this belong to?
Yeah. Who does this belong to?
Return to sender.
Return to sender. So if something feels
No, don't get confused with the two tools. So
yeah,
light and heavy is the tool, it's here. Who does this belong to is another tool.
right.
And with who does this belong to, just know, I can tell you, and Gary came up with this percentage. He says that 99.99999% of the thoughts, feelings, emotions we have on a daily basis do not belong to us.
Even when they're the same ones that you just play over and over.
Absolutely. They don't belong to you. And why is that? It's because we're giant radio receivers. We're energy. We're beings of energy. And because thoughts and feelings and emotions are energy, we're picking those energies up and we're buying them as ours. And when you buy something as yours, then you start creating it. So that's a really important tool to use. Not important, but it's a fabulous tool to use because it will give you more of you. Is this what you're asking for? Would you like to ask, I'll have more of me, please?
You got any water for this?
Just lay it down on a pile like that.
So those are two separate tools. You want to play with those?
Yeah, so it kind of reminds me also of a situation where if somebody's talking to me on the phone and telling me really stressful things about their life over and over again, it makes my stomach start to like contract and stress.
Yeah.
I suddenly start absorbing all of the
Yes.
and I can't deal with it, and it's just I can't handle it, you know.
Right.
There's a certain person that does it to me all the time. I'm not going to mention any names, but
Yeah.
and so it makes my stomach cramp, and it's like I'm receiving all their those energies of their problems into my tummy.
Yes. And in some way, Barbara, can I just ask you, have a look at that and see if you've created that way of receiving those energies. And,
Right.
and you'll know. How will you know? Because it will make you feel light if that's true. And if it's not true, how will you feel?
Lighter.
Heavy.
Heavy.
You'll feel
Sorry,
heavy. No, it's all right. So everywhere you're still getting confused about light and heavy, and everything that's stopping you from getting the awareness and the clarity of this, will you destroy and uncreate that, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, book, all known, short, swim, yawns. So when somebody's pushing energies at you, if you resist and react to those pushing of energies, that's quite often a way that that's what's happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And you can allow yourself, there's lots of different things you can do about people pushing energies. Probably one of the things you could do is to just pull those energies through your body and stop resisting and reacting to them. What would be the easiest thing for you to do?
Just the bigger ones.
What's that?
Oh, it's all right. I'm so sorry.
So when someone's pushing energy at you like that, would it be easy enough for you to go, oh, I'm just going to pull those energies through me? Could you say that to yourself? Would that work for you?
And what's that going to do? Pull those energies through me?
It just releases them. You're not.
Oh, okay.
See, when you resist and react, it's the resistance and the reaction to those energies that's creating that upset in your tummy.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So
Yeah.
what? Pull them through me and then out the other side of me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Totally.
Right.
Don't keep them in there.
Right.
Just allow them to come through you. Or if there's another one that would you like to try this one? It might be easier for you, is to have gratitude for those energies.
I find that really hard to feel gratitude for those energies of
I
stress,
hear you.
problems.
Can't you say they're not mine, leave? Can't you do something like that?
It's still a reaction.
Yeah.
It's the resistance and the reaction that creates them as solid. So everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive that, would you destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right, good, bad, pop on and shorts me on. I would
Okay,
like
so-
to invite you, I'm going to invite you to consider the possibility of having gratitude for those energies. So as soon as you perceive them being pushed at you, go, oh, I'm so grateful for these energies. I wonder how much money they're going to bring me.
Okay. These energies of all somebody else's problems.
Yep. Just go, you know what? I wonder how much money these energies are going to bring me. Because can you hear there's no reaction then, is there?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So you can try different ways. If those don't work, well, we'll try another way.
Okay. I'm so grateful for those energies, and how much money will these energies bring me?
I think that's the bit that really works, doesn't it? Yeah, well, I picked that up from Gary, actually. Hey, Gary always says that when somebody judges you, just go, yay, I'm going to make $5,000 more this year.
Get really rich.
Yeah. Yes, exactly, Robin. I'll have that. Judge away. Hey, thank you, everybody, for this wonderful, wonderful morning this morning. I'm so grateful for you. It's wonderful to explore these tools. Let's practice these tools a lot more, because these are the very basic tools that you can use to just trust yourself and navigate to create a greater life than what we've been creating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. And maybe find someone to run their bars.
Yeah.
Do you need a chart, Barb? Do you need a chart?
No, I've actually got a chart. I've got a chart. Yeah, I do have a chart. So it's just a matter of having a practice, really, having practice run.
Yeah, why don't you just practice on Ruben? Ask him if you could practice on him.
Yeah. Okay.
Say you need to practice, because do it for you. The thing about doing bars is if you do it for others, you're doing it for you. It's actually changing your life.
Right.
It really does. It really will give you a lot of peace. If you've got no one to run your bars, just run other people's bars.
Okay.
But we can't at the moment because we've got to keep the old 2 metre distance.
Oh, at least they're in our
You
bubble.
can't touch.
At least
No
they're already in our
touching.
bubble.
Yeah, but you can add people to your bubble, because I've just added my sister to my bubble, because I sent an email to the government COVID people saying I want to go and see my sister.
Did you get a response?
Yeah, I got a response, and they said it's
goodness.
fine.
When did you get the response yesterday?
Yeah, I got a response yesterday, Barbara, and I'm going to print this off. They said all I need to do is add her to my bubble.
So how do you get there? Do you drive or?
I'm going to drive, and I have to just take confirmation that I'm going to her place. So she has to sent me one of her bills with her address on it to prove that I'm going to her address.
Wow. And does she have to say a letter that you're coming there?
No, she doesn't have to say a letter. I've just got her.
And what about when you go home? Is that okay? Going back the other way?
Oh, well, I'll just say I've been there.
That one.
Yeah.
Well, she could be in my bubble.
Yeah, well, you just, if you've got someone who you want to run their bars, just say, would you like to be in my bubble, and I'll run your bars. If you've got someone that is not going to be fearful about COVID virus.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Has anybody got any other questions before we finish today? You all good? You all ready to go and fly around the world now and be amazing?
Yes, I just want to thank Barb and Robin for their questions.
Oh, thank you.
That creates space for me and clarified some, stuff for me. And I haven't done that gratitude for listening to other people's shit. So I always just go interesting point of view, with that probably look on my face like shut up. But,
Yep.
I might start trying that gratitude, because then I'll have a smile on my face instead of.
Yeah.
I love it.
Everybody.
Say it one more time. I have gratitude for your shit and how much money this is going to bring me.
Absolutely. You go.
I love
girl.
it. Thank you, Chrissie.
Thank you
Wow.
everyone for being
Mm.
amazing. It's been very gorgeous. I'm just very grateful for all of you for coming on and getting some clarity on these tools. How cool is that?
Yeah. Oh, thanks so much, Chrissie.
Thank you, darlings.
When are you going to your sisters, Chrissie?